1,000 schools in Australia are feeding children cricket products, and they're eating bugs already in Australia. Australia is one of the governments that has been pushing a lot of these policies forward more than any other government out there, especially when it came to their COVID policies, especially now when it comes to their climate policies. And before all of this, their policies restricting people's ability to be able to defend themselves and also have firearms. So they're on the precipice. They have the most amount of young leaders coming from the World Economic Forum influencing their government, and their government is literally talking about implementing a central bank digital currency. They have already set up literally quarantine camps inside of their country that they spent $580 million building that only imprisoned 2,168 people. According to Rebel News, that's account for nearly $250,000 per guest during the COVID.
Did you say 1,000 kids?
1,000 schools.
1,000 schools. Spectator Australia. 1,000 Australian schools are fed insects. You will eat the bugs. You will live in the pod, you will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Yeah, we laugh about this, we make jokes about this, but this is a reality in a lot of places around the world where this agenda is already moving forward in many devious ways under the guise of helping people. This is not helping people. There's a lot of controversy, especially when it comes to the nutritional value, especially when it comes to the larger physical effects that people have when they do eat bugs. A lot of people don't like to talk about this, but the science, a lot of it is bunk. A lot of it is, of course, financed by individuals like Bill Gates that have an invested interest in pushing this. And
why do they want you to eat bugs so bad?
Well, because they understand that if a person is healthy, they're not as dependent as, of course, the person who is unhealthy. And I think there's a big agenda to make people unhealthy. And I think this is why there's such a war against meat. What a lot of these people who call for this kind of singularity, who call for this fourth industrial revolution, a lot of what they have in common is also their bigger fight against meat. Meat, one of the most, nutritiously dense food out there. You take away meat from the general public, as Bill Gates says, he wants Western society to be completely meatless in the next few years. When you take away people's nutrition, you take away their ability for them to be strong and to resist the larger takeover of humanity, which is happening right now.
Bill Gates is not the image of health.
Absolutely not. Oh, yeah, he has man bazungas.
What are you talking about, man? Have you seen that new corn video? Have you seen the new corn video?
Oh, yeah. Seen it? You haven't seen the corn video?
Of course I've seen it.
I was going to say. He's looking pretty fit.
Bill Gates, I think he's obese. I don't know if he's morbidly obese, but he's obese. He's big. Yeah, he's a big fella. Yeah, that Bill Gates, That's
sad. You got one job, Bill. Be the version of what you want to see in people.
No, this is what it's going to be. You're going to be eating bugs while morbidly obese Bill Gates has got a mutton chopper, or what is it? Mutton? Is that the big leg or whatever? Yeah. And he's going to be like, eat your crickets.
Is there any way to ally with the Borg and come out better for it?
No.
It assimilates
You're just looking out for yourself, Ian.
This is
like screw you guys. Like, plug me into the Matrix. Let me taste that juicy steak in the metaverse. Is that what you're saying?
I feel like it's inevitably happening. Like it's the avalanche is cascading, and we're riding it down the cliff right now towards people plugging in, whether you want to or not. That society will, and then you'll become dangerous to society if you're not in it, or you'll be forced to because you can't compete in the job market and you start to starve unless you get it. But if you're in there, I think Captain Jean-Luc Picard got assimilated by the Borg and somehow from within the network was able to twist it, but I could be wrong about that.
No, he was in.
And they had to break him out.
Yeah,
the Borg assimilates everything in its path. I don't think obviously you could create some sort of Trojan from inside the system, but I mean,
I just want everyone to look at this picture. Just keep talking.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong that it's an avalanche in process, but do you get that vibe that
this is what you're fighting for?
I think that they're moving in that direction, and that no matter what happens politically, there will be certain organizations that continue this work, right? I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of all of it, okay? But at the same time, I think that they vastly overestimate how much they're going to be able to control the general populace, meanwhile empowering themselves with the real technology, right? Once technology goes public and people have their hands on it, that's when the real innovations always begin, right? And that's where you have the true mavericks. So I'm hoping that as this stuff rolls out, it's the underground that utilizes it to empower humanity instead of enslave us. Just like a hammer can build a house, it can bash someone's head in. And they're trying to bash our heads in.
Well, look at this. Remember, everybody, this is what you're fighting for.
That's right.
That's mutton.
Never
Sauteed
forget.
in
And
a
I
salt
think that
brine.
is that rosemary on top, Ian?
That's rosemary.
Is that rosemary?
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Put
Put some
nailed
beef
it.
liver up
Have you
there.
guys seen
Bill
Upload
Gates is
yet?
going to be sitting there holding the bone and just tearing off meat while you're on the ground in a potato sack, wearing a potato sack, and you're going to have a bowl of crickets, and you're going to be like, "Thank you, master." And he's going to be like, "Get out of my side." That's the world they want.
So if you
Serf
haven't
them.
seen Upload, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Is it Hulu or something?
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon.
But it is this idea that you don't have to worry about dying anymore, that you are going to upload your consciousness. And, not to give away too much of the plot, but that's what they want for the plebeian class. And the plebeian class is eating the printed foods, and the plebeian class is living in small apartments like your dorm. So in other words, you're on these dating apps, but they're not dating apps. They're pure hookup apps. Everything's recorded, so your sex is recorded, everything, and you're having sex next to your roommate, right? And they just have like a VR helmet, so they're not paying attention. You're in like a 4x4 room. You're going on dates where your food's printed. And then you get to the people that are running the show, and they have chicken, and they have steak, and they're not driving the automated vehicles that are this big, and they're not in the small apartments.
And the
But
rich,
will
when the
they
rich
be
people
eating
die,
humans?
when the rich people die, they get uploaded to like the estates where it's like this luxurious afterlife, and poor people have pay as you go, where they're in like this sterile white box. And if you talk too much, you're burning through data, and then you just get frozen when you run out, and someone's got to re-up you. So you just zonk out. And then you come to a month later when someone finally pays the bill to turn you back on.
Or
Yes,
you
they
got,
actually
or you got to
monetize
fill out
you in death.
to fill out the Excel sheets and do all the lame paperwork for all the ruling elites.
It even has a voting aspect to it. So, one of the running themes in it is somebody who's, already uploaded themselves and then can leave that universe through one of these entities or robots that they build. Yeah, that you've seen it.
Yep.
And they talk about how the reason they're doing this, and they're offering a free upload. Like you said, most of these are monetized and there are certain tiers. But there's this place you can go to now that's kind of like this utopian upload. And like people are getting in line and bringing their babies with them because it's their only chance. And once you upload, you're dead. See, that's the kind of running joke. It takes your entire head off, right? But one of the reasons that they bought this infrastructure and are bringing people into it is because they want to change the voting records. So basically, they want certain candidates in, and they want to get rid of the class of people that would vote against those candidates.
Dystopic twist, the people that are eating the chicken and the lamb while the plebs are all in their cars are also going to be eating human meat, because what you said, they cut them off at the neck. They keep the brain alive so that the person doesn't know that they're just a brain, but they take the bodies for consumption.
I don't think
write
the
it
rich
into a movie.
people are going to have to eat people.
They're not going to have
rich
to, Tim.
people are going to have...
Nobody's going to have to do it.
You're saying they want to.
Once they get the taste, it's going to be like, oh, this is perfect. And it's population reduction.
Oh, man.
That's a little too much for me.
Let's put it, but that's why we've got to make a movie about it first.
You make
Just
me want to
wake
bring up
people
a cannibal story. It's so bizarre. I don't even know if I should.
We're going off the deep end. We got to save some of it for the members show.
I mean, do you guys know about this Utah case at all?
What
No.
Utah case?
So there's a case out in Utah right now that is into ritualistic child abuse. Okay. And apparently there was an investigation that happened in the 80s and the 90s that was thrown out of court. It was revamped this year during an election year to the point where a person named David Levitt went on public television and said, "I don't abuse children and I'm not a cannibal. These are all lies." And you're like taken back. Whoa, what's going on here? And basically, if you reread this case, he was named with a group of other people into some really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type stuff on children, the stuff that you couldn't believe. Well, one of his associates got arrested this week named David Hamblin. And David Hamblin got arrested for hypnotizing and sexually abusing children while taping them at the 6 and 7-year-old range. And this is in that same time period. And they also arrested another person in law enforcement in Utah that may or may not be connected. Now, these people are being held without bond or bail either. And Levitt lost his election. He was, I think, a Utah County prosecutor. And many people believe that he's going to be the next to be arrested once his term is actually up, and they're waiting for that because he already knew these guys and he knew he was the one being investigated. Now, when these kind of stories come out, I'm just like taken aback because I don't know one way or another. But the children seem to obviously be abused. They have the physical evidence that they were, and they have a bunch of eyewitness testimony, so it's interesting.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.